Good morning, everybody. Decided to jump on a titch bit early, and heads up really closely, or just as a side note, I'm sorry if my phone rings. We have a service guy coming to the house today, or person, I don't know if it's guy or girl. The internet's been kind of glitchy, so hopefully everything will be set in stone and good to go. And without further ado, let's jump in for today. So good morning. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Erin Reed with Erin Reed Makes. And today we are going to be doing a series of fun cards using one die set. So this is the first part of the die. I had the other one on the floor with the die. And it's a compatible die, and it's from Paper Roses. But there are other die sets out there that is like a layer 1, layer 2 kind of a thing. Or you could have a couple of fun dies that would work really nicely together because there's a smaller and a larger one. And I wanted to show you guys that, yes, you could totally make a card as a square, and I'm going to show you a couple variations that we're going to do together. But you can also turn them into different sizes by kind of playing with where you're cutting it. And that's what we're focusing on today, and keeping a very clean color story. So I picked 3 colors of cardstock. That's all we're using the entire day is white, this beautiful blue, and then the brown to make those colors pop. So that's kind of where we're going for today. First stage is let's do a couple of cuts. So I'm going to show you kind of how it runs. So moving everything out of the way, getting out my big kick, big shot, whatever you want to call it. I have a fun story for this one. This is the one I won. I'm so excited. So I was at the Simon Says stamp. I am going to take and do really quickly before I forget this one. I have to think about where I was at. So I was at the Simon Says stamp Meet Me at the Show event. Where's my top layer? There it is. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Hi, everybody. Those layer dies are gorgeous, everybody. Aren't they so fun? So I was at the Simon Says stamp event, and I was the big prize winner. And this is my big prize. I also got the little sidekick. So I also got the little guy. So it was actually a 2-for-1 prize. I cannot believe I won that thing. Sorry, running this through real fast. Hopefully my camera's not wiggling up too much. And I'm in love. It is making my life so much easier by having this. I have a cuddle bug, but every now and then there's certain things that it just doesn't quite do. And it's old, and maybe my plates are not doing so well. Anyway, it's fun getting something nice and new. All right, so here is the die. I'm just going to kind of pop all little pieces out in here. And it cuts through like butter. So this is the bottom layer. And Paper Roses is a company that is, I think Paper Rose, I always call it, yeah, I think it's Paper. Well, so this is what throws me off, is it has this little thing on the end, but it's actually Paper Rose. So I read this and I think Paper Roses, but it's based out of Australia. I actually saw them at Creativation, and this die right here, this double die, came in my VIP swag bag. So I'm a VIP creator. Of all the people at Creativation, I found out there's only like 13 of us. That's not a whole lot. So I qualified to get that, which was pretty awesome, which meant I got some cool stuff that I'm going to be bringing you some. And this is one of the first things that I'm bringing you is a fun event. And heads up, I'm going to show you a little sneaky peek. The cuddle bug's getting discontinued. So I'm going to have a vintage machine on my hands if I don't get rid of it. That's pretty cool. So somebody just posted that the cuddle bug's getting discontinued. Okay, so well, I guess it's time to move on to something bigger and better because I won't be able to replace the plates or anything. So, it worked out, right? I had so just as a little side note, now that I've cut that out, on Saturday, there is a whole bunch of us that got that VIP swag bag. And I mean, Ann Butler's doing it, Cindy Rossier, Karen Tamir, that's just a few, Candy Rosenberg. There's a few people getting on there. There is a ton of prizes from Joggles, from Supertite, from, I'm trying to remember all the people, from Hero Art Stamps, and Vintage Girl. There's a ton of prizes. Come Saturday, and this is the project. I just got finished doing it yesterday, so this is just a little sneaky peek. And it's using this die along with, we picked 8 items that came in our VIP swag bag to do a project. And all the projects are starting to come in now because we're getting all of our videos done and uploaded by today. And everybody's stuff is so different. We use the exact same, like we all used this set of dies because we all got them. We all used the same stamp set. We all used the same stuff. But what we created was so amazingly different. It's very, very cool. So Saturday, it's not a live video. They're being uploaded. to make sure we all could kind of match up and partner up together. But check it out. It's Saturday. Starts on my channel. So just come and head out, 8 a.m. Saturday. It's on my channel. And then I will have the links to all the other people. And leaving a comment is your entry into the prizes. And there is a lot of gift cards, and it's really cool. So just thought I'd let you know about all that mess. Okay, I'm trying to remember my train of thought. Okay, I need to do one more cut, and it is using this sheet of paper. And I wanted to show you, not all the cards have to be square. Going back to the different squares. So the first thing I did is I just die cut it, and I cut it square. But what if you don't want to cut it square? What if you want to make a card that is an A2 size or a non-square card? Can you do that? Definitely. So this is what I did, is I took my plate. I'm gonna have to shift this. All right, so I took my plate. You guys see me? Yeah, just barely. Okay, and I laid my paper down. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to cut this dead on. So I looked from top to bottom. Do I line it up correctly? Do I line it up evenly from top to bottom? And then I looked from side to side. And basically, hopefully you guys can see this. Morning, everybody. Okay, so I'm looking from side to side here to make sure that this is even. And if I can see a little pokey hole of paper, that means it's not even. So I'm kind of eyeballing and just using my best judgment. Now, some of them, I lined them up perfectly on the side. Some of them, I lined up all the way on the edge. It really depended. I kind of jumped all over the place in terms of alignment. And I'm not lined up, so I can't do this by holding it up in the air. It's just not going to happen. So it's a little bit of finagling, but if you do this and you make this a little bit more dead on, and kind of center it, it'll make your life easier. And then I just took a little piece of washi tape, laid that down, and then ran this through. So this is how I did some of my other cuts, just like this, and then run it through. I was doing this a lot last night. I was just running them through, running them through, running them through. All right, now we're done with the cutting. I did all the other cutting last night, so you're not going to see me just die cut a whole bunch. Okay, and so then when you get the piece come out, you get it looking like this. And this is the back piece. So see all the little perforations on there? That shows for the back piece. And I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. My little trash can is full of all these little pieces, of which those little pieces are pretty darn cool because there's some really cool shapes. So, I mean, look at the kind of fun shapes that come out of the die cuts. This is another fun one right here. I love those little shapes. I just thought they were so cool. So on the project I'm doing for Saturday, with the giveaway and everything, I actually was using a lot of those shapes more than the actual die. I was doing the pieces that came cut out. So anyway, moving on. Okay, so that's how you can do other cuts. The other thing I was doing is I just cut an F8.5 by 11, and then this is where I cut that in half to a 5.5, like an A2 size card. Cut that piece, and then I had a whole bunch of these pieces left over, this section. And that's how I made this card, is I was taking those pieces that were cut right there, or I was lining them up with a card that we're going to be doing here momentarily. So I wasn't wasting this section either, and that's how I thought, oh, well, that's how I could get like an A2 size card. So where can you go from here? Well, this is where you layer. So look how cool this is when you layer them on top of each other. And then what if you went the reverse? So this is the reverse. Look how fun those are. And I'm just going to do a quick tack for these. I'm using my Supertite glue. And as always, links are going to be down below in the information section of the video. So that way you guys can get it. So it's a dual tip pen. It's got a nice fine tip point. There's a lot of glues out there, and anything that has a nice fine tip where I can kind of come along, hit the edges of my card. And for this particular die, it's like 5 inches and like an eighth. Not even. It's like, yeah, it's an eighth. Yeah, because a quarter would be 1 tick. It's like a half of, yeah. In my mind, it makes sense. So I'm just kind of hitting all the places where it's going to come loose. I'm going to probably come back because you guys don't want to see me doing tons and tons and tons of gluing today. So I will come back in and I will kind of tweak it as we move along because we're going to be making a lot of cards together today. But look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? I should have done one other one ahead of time, but I wanted you guys to see how cool these were. So mostly running along, I'll just do a very, very quick patchy here. There we go. like I said, I'll come back later on and finish gluing. Now, I did notice there is a perforation on all that, and that's where you're supposed to be covering up the dies. That's where that top die layer covers up everything else. So you shouldn't see any of the dotted lines. The only ones that I tended to see were the ones that were here in the corner. Not quite sure why. So see how I didn't glue in here? So you can kind of come in, and this is what I'll do after the fact. You just don't want to see me doing all that here on camera. That's going to bug me, so I'm going to do that really fast. So it points down. And I thought these were so stinking pretty. I love the look. For this one card, I did a white on white with just a blue background. And so this is a 5 1/8. So I cut my card to be a 5 1/2. So I just took an 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of paper, cut it lengthwise as a 5 1/2. So there was a little bit of a piece left over. So basically, pretend this is blue. That's how much was left over. And then you just fold it in half. So you can make a square card. It's really fun. Oh my God. I haven't looked at my comments, and it's just like it exploded over here. You can use them. Oh, okay. Trying to catch up on all the, my head is a completely different direction about what all the comments are saying. You can use them for a photo frame in a scrapbooking. Oh yeah, that'd be so cool. I love that concept. Are you gonna be doing a giveaways after winning the big prize on? Well, yeah, I have a giveaway coming up this upcoming Saturday on the video. So that's kind of a fun thing that's happening. And I run giveaways periodically. We're actually going to be doing quite a bit of, I have in the works from all the fun haul videos I did. And so I went to different events. For instance, I went to the Simon Says Stamp, and while we're doing that, I can be talking. I have in the works for, like, for instance, we have the video coming up Saturday from everybody who got the VIP bag. We have everybody creating a project using the same stuff. That is in the works for a few other of the events that I went to. So some of the other fun haul videos you guys have seen me put up lately, we're all kind of creating, and we're spacing that out so it's not all on top of each other, but those are coming. And every time I do one of those kind of things, there's going to be a big giveaway. There's also another fun giveaway that's coming up. I have another 2 video hops that are coming up. Those are not, one of them is a live event, and that is on March. It's a Saturday. I should have this memorized. 3rd, I think. No, 30th. I don't know. End of the month. It's in March. It's still a ways away, but I'll be doing a live hour-long stream, and there'll be a giveaway associated with that one. My son's going to help moderate that because he's at school, otherwise he'd be helping me. But I'm going to do a couple of live videos with him while he's moderating, so he can answer the questions as we're going along. So just look how pretty that is. And for some reason, I was thinking craft, and then I had a ton of this brown paper. It's like, oh, let's try the brown paper. That looks so pretty. And it does. It looks so cool. It looks so fun. All right, so folding this in half. So yeah, lots of giveaways, lots of fun videos coming up over the next 2-3 months. First one's this Saturday. Lots of fun stuff. Okay, hang on. I got to close something because I can't read half the comments. All right. How do you get to be a VIP in Creativation? Okay, so, well, first you have to be a member of AFCI. So how can you become a member of AFCI? So you can become a member as being press. You can become a member as a designer. That's the section I am in. There's also a maker member, meaning that you have like an Etsy shop and you make products and you have to prove that you have enough sales. I had a friend that actually got in doing that. You also could be a content creator, like a YouTuber. I actually would qualify with that as well because of my YouTube channel. And then once you're an AFCA designer and you are your own member and it's a paid membership and you get accepted, then they had this other one. So look how gorgeous these are. Then they had this other grouping, and they started it 2 years ago. And I kind of happened to come across it by chance. And it was all about being a VIP creator. And basically, I had to prove that I had so much watch time on my channel, that I had enough blog views, and I was already a member. And so I applied and I got it. And I think there's a whole lot of other people that could have gotten it, but then chose not to. And then part of what I was also agreeing to do was helping promote the show, Creativation. And so that's how I became a VIP creator. So I did some blog posts, I did some Facebook posts, I did some Instagram posts. You know, I chatted about it on YouTube, and so that way people got to know what it was all about. Okay, so this is one that I cut. using some of the leftover pieces. Okay, things are falling on the ground. Sorry. So one of these leftover pieces, basically I just kind of cut from there. And I'm layering the two of these, just like this. Hopefully that answered your question. I didn't glance to see who said the question. I think that answered the question there. Okay, so again, I'm just doing a quick tack, but this is a blue on blue. Isn't that fun? So you can obviously layer different colors, right? But this is a blue on blue, and this was a white on white. Look how cool those are. And truthfully, I like them just plain. I am a big, I tried, and you could add like a stamp in the center or something, but I think it kind of takes away, and that was in the thumbnail picture that you guys saw, was that there was a stamp in the center. I think this is maybe just too big, and that's why it's kind of throwing me off. But I just like them plain. I guess you could add a little sentiment in the corner or something, but I just think they look so pretty just like this. But what if you have one like this? Now, one thing that was bugging me is that it's not lined up perfectly. And this one, I think I got a little bit off in the die, so you can see it's just a teensy weensy bit misaligned. So I'm just going to cut these off, lining them up. And then what I did is I measured how thick was the border. So on the die itself, it's got like this border that goes all the way around it. And I measured it, and it was 1/8 of an inch. And then I also measured how tall it was, which was 5 1/8. And so basically I just went through and I cut it. And so I'm going to create my own little border right now, just like this. So it kind of finishes it off. And I cut a card to be like this. And so this will just line up right here. I'll have this little border, but I want to stamp this first. So there it is. I have a happy birthday stamp. This is from So Susie. And I have, oh, here it is. I have an ink, and I found an ink out of my color blocks. This is my Petal Point, which was this, okay, well, here it is. This color. And I thought it just was like almost a perfect match. So I was like, too good to be true. I didn't want to pull in a black, and I did not have a brown that matched this color brown. So I thought, well, let me see if I could find a blue, and I did. So I've been playing with that, and I love this stamp because it's vertical. Most of the other stamps I found out there are horizontal. And I thought, well, it'd be kind of cool to have a vertical stamp, have it going down the line of the card. So that's what we're doing. I'm just going to quickly come in and stamp as close to that edge border as I possibly can. I'm just eyeballing this. And I think I just smeared it. Hopefully I didn't. Oh, look at that. I thought I smeared it, but I didn't. This type of ink is very, well, just to show you, it's a pigment chalk ink. So it can get a little bit smeary. So this is just some powder, and you can see it. And so I'm just tapping it on here, and it just helps set the ink. And it's just powder, but it's in this cute little thing. This came from Scrap Perfect, and now I've got powder all over. You can tell how often I've cleaned my desk. It's disgusting. And I have no baby wipes anywhere nearby. So we're just going to deal with the fact that it's got powder. I kind of overdid how much powder I added onto that card. Shh, you didn't see me do that. It looks like I had some sort of explosion happen on my desk. All right. Using my little Xyron tape runner, adding the background of my card, just like this. Easy. And I don't want to touch this yet. It will set it, but it still has the powder, which is why it's kind of muted. All right. So I've tacked those two things together. Now I'm just going to quickly tack this onto my card. I'm going to do a really quickie version. So this is kind of how I did, no, not this one. Oh, there's another card running around here somewhere. It fell on the ground, and I'm not going to go hunting it down. There was one where it was a little bit off-centered. I actually instead of lining the die up smack into the middle like I did this one, I lined it up on the edge, and so it gave it that clean border on one side, and then I just finished it on the other. So now I'm lining this up right here. See how this side is nice and open. I have a few pieces that are still not quite lined up, but now what I can do, pretend this is all perfect. I've got lots of little spots I got to clean up. So now I'm going to take my two little pieces that I cut out earlier and use them and make my new kind of border. So I just take it and I line it up perfectly right on the sides there. It works a little better when everything is already glued down, but it's actually kind of holding it quite nicely. There it is. So almost like it finishes it for me. I've got some spots that are not fully glued down, so it's kind of pulling up. I'll fix those after the video. You don't need to see me like gluing a whole bunch. Let me add this one here. So I've cut them for all the future cards that we're going to be doing, because the rest of the cards we're doing are all A2 size. So what I'm and I see I need to trim these up a little bit. What I'm trying to get you guys to see is that just because you see a die and it's a square, and I thought this at first, I'm like, I don't make square cards. I like A2 size cards because I do my card swaps, and I basically tell everybody to make sure that all the cards are the same size and the same length, is that we all do A2 size cards. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to shift this over a tiny bit. So you'll never know. Uh-oh. I think that's my guy. Hang on. I'm so sorry, guys. They were supposed to call me. Oh, wait. Actually, I think that's just a male. I'm trying to look. Oh, and I totally just wiped. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. I opened up my window and it looks pretty good. Hopefully that is not my thing. So you get the idea for that. I might have to cut this off because the person's still there. Another card I was going to do, and this is using the blue. Nope, where'd it go? Here. So here's the blue. And I had I gotta go. I'm sorry, guys. So I'm gonna cut this off, but I just wanted to show you. There'll be pictures I'm posting on my Instagram so you guys can see that. But here is the other layers and you guys can see the cards. But I think my person is here. I gotta get going. Thanks so much for stopping by. You guys can see how beautiful these dies are. Thank you so much for everything. And I will see you guys again later. So much for cutting this off so early, but I gotta fix my internet. All right, bye everybody.